أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى عترة الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to our series on Ashura, Bringing It Home. We're looking at people who had a huge impact on the day of Ashura and how we can bring it home from their lives. What can we learn from their lives to bring into our lives so that we can actually learn and use them as role models and better ourselves as human beings, as Muslims, as Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib, inshallah. So today I'm looking at Habib ibn Muzahir and we're looking at choosing the right friends, because I think that is the greatest lesson that we can learn from Habib's life. Habib, we know, was a childhood friend that Imam Hussein alayhi salam calls in his time of need. And we need to learn that it's important to pick the right friends early on. We need to encourage our children to pick the right friends, and we need to make sure that we have the right friends. Especially when we're young, it's important to have friends because they have a huge influence on our lives. And if we grow together, then they've been part of our journey and they know us so well, and they can actually guide us through our life then, inshallah. But for those of us who are older, it's never too late to have the right friends. So again, picking the right friends is really, really important. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, in Surah Furqan, where He says that on the day when the unjust ones shall bite His hand, saying, "Oh, would that I have taken away with the messenger." And the next verse explains that, they will say actually, "Oh, woe is me, Ya waylata, oh, woe is me." Why? And that actually continues, "Laytani lam attakhid fulanan khalila." Would that I have not chosen so and so as my friend. Again, why? The next verse says, "Laqad azallani an dhikri ba'da idh ja'ani." Certainly, he led me astray from the reminder after it had come to me. So Allah's actually saying, okay, we'll be sitting there biting the back of our hands, and saying, "Oh, woe to me, because I wish I'd not picked so and so as my friend, because he led me astray from the reminder after it had come to me." So I knew what it was. I knew what was right, but my friend led me astray. And friends can very easily do that, and that's why it's important to pick the right friends. It's very, very important that we pick the right friends. Let's look at who Imam Hussein alayhi salam chose to be his friend. And this is Habib ibn Muzahir, where Imam actually sends him a letter, and look at the qualities that Imam points out, and this will show us the qualities that we need to look at in our friends. So he says, when he writes him a letter, he says, in the letter, this is a letter from Hussein ibn Ali to our Rajul al-Faqih, a man who is well versed in his duty and knowledge of religion. So those are the qualities that we need to have in a friend. Someone who is well versed in his duty and knowledge of religion. It is when you know what your duty is that you will actually follow it through. It is when you have the knowledge of the religion, is when you can actually advise others. When you yourself are following the religion and have knowledge of the religion, then you can advise others as friends. If I don't know what my duty is, then what advice will I give to my friend? So those are some of the qualities. And then Imam writes to Habib that, "Ya Habib, we have need of your company in Karbala, come to us." And notice how Habib makes arrangements immediately to leave Kufa. And when he reaches Karbala, he actually convinces some of the Banu Asad to join the Imam. So what's the bringing home message from that? What am I bringing at home here? I need to know that as a friend, when a friend asks me for help, I need to be there for them immediately. Put aside other things and be there for each other. And I need to use whatever resources I have at hand. If I know anyone else who can help, then I would need to reach out. If I have anything I can help them with, I need to bring that along as well. Habib did this. He left Kufa immediately. And then he knew that he had a way in with the Banu Asad, so he talked to them. And some of them actually joined Imam's army. And finally, the final thing that is really, really beautiful is that when Habib actually comes to Imam, into the camp of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and Bibi Zainab alayhi salam hears about it, she sends a message with Fizza, that's say to Habib that Zainab sends her salams to you. When Habib ibn Muzahir hears this, tears come to his eyes, and he says, "Wah, a day has come that men like me receive salams from princesses like Zainab." I think this is really, really powerful. There's a lot of things that we can learn from this and bring it home. So the fact that Habib was so humble and had so much humility that he didn't think he was doing Imam Hussein alayhi salam or Bibi Zainab alayhi salam any favors by coming. He was humbled at the opportunity to come and serve his Imam. And when Bibi Zainab alayhi salam sends her salams, he felt that he didn't deserve this. He's looking at Bibi Zainab's status and thinking, who is he to receive salams from Bibi Zainab alayhi salam? To always have that humbleness and humility within us, where we don't think of ourselves as someone who is so amazing, so great, and realize that whatever we're doing is through the opportunities that Allah has sent us. And the other bringing it home the other bringing it home message here is that we as a family should know the friends of each other, and our friends should know our family as well. Although Habib was a friend of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Zainab knew him well enough to send him her salams. And although Habib was a friend of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he knew Zainab well enough to know her status and to know who she was and how humbled he felt that she was sending him salams. So it's important to recognize that it's very, very important for our families to know our friends and for our friends to know our families, because friends play a huge part in our lives, as do our families. And so they all should come together so that we're not getting one thing from our family and another thing from our friends. Inshallah, we're all moving together, our friends, our family, and ourselves, all towards Allah, inshallah. So, in conclusion, the lessons that we can learn from Habib ibn Muzahir's life, especially within Karbala, and the way that he behaved when he was written the letter by Imam Hussein, when he received the letter by Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and the things that we can learn from the fact that Imam Hussein alayhi salam chose Habib ibn Muzahir to be his friend, is it's important to pick the right friends very early on. It's important to know what sort of qualities we want from a friend, and the main quality is that they should be versed in their duty towards Allah and the knowledge of the religion, and that they should be there when we need them, and bring whatever resources that they can, that they have in their disposal. And also that we need to make sure that they're humble, and they're not arrogant, and their ego is not at play constantly, because when someone's ego is in play, then they may not be giving us the right advice. And finally, that not only should our friends know our family, but our family should know our friends. Inshallah, if we keep all of this in mind, we will pick the right friends who will help us to move towards Allah on our journey towards Him. Inshallah. Please join me tomorrow, where I will be looking at the family of the Banu Hashim, who played an important role in the events of Ashura and after, inshallah. And we will, inshallah, bring it home. Please join me tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.